On a Saturday overdrive in Logan, Utah. Proud to have the first run of Toboggan Camp. A nice look. Boise State and Utah State all tied at 33. Rich Waltz along with Chris Walker. When you were in Rolly Massimino's backcourt at Villanova, you like to handle the ball, you like to shoot it. So you like this first half, which was dominated by the guards.
You know, we talked in the onset about how well the bigs played last time these guys played, but it's good to see the guards come out and play well, particularly Derek Marks, how he's come out with his aggressiveness, getting to the rim off handoffs and drives. He's been the difference with his hustle in the first half.
Well, Marks was terrific. Anthony Drimick drained 3 big threes for Boise State. Now, on the other hand, for Utah State, a terrific first half by Kyle Davis, and then Spencer Butterfield essentially shot them back into the game. They were down by 9 at one point.
That happened last game, and it's happened this game as well.
Anything off this page that interests you, Coach?
You know, highlighted points in the paint, which is not only just making post-ups, it's also driving the ball, getting into the interior. And the other thing that's glaring, 2 for 6 from 3. Who's the better three-point team here? I don't know.
Utah State better percentage-wise, but it was Drimick from beyond the arc that was super for Boise State. And that was a terrific matchup because both Drimick and Butterfield guarded each other throughout the first half. And neither seemed to wear down, though they chased each other around for 20 minutes.
It was definitely fun to watch them guys, watch those guys say, I'll take one, you take one. Let's see what you got.
Let's see what adjustments we get. Out of halftime, Marks to Drimick. He couldn't hold the pass. It's a turnover right from the get-go for Boise State. Rowland along with Davis, Butterfield, Medlin, and Shaw on the floor for Utah State. This is Tennille Rowland. Terrific assist-to-turnover ratio. Butterfield and Drimick.
He's had a lot of cross screens, screen-to-screener type action, screen for the big, then we call it a cleanup screen for Medlin, the shooter, or Butterfield.
Medlin left him alone, and he hits the 3. Utah State opens with a 3 and a lead, their second lead of the game. Watkins, a putback. That one might have been tipped above the cylinder. Watkins got it back. Thompson takes a 3, and he hits it. Wow.
Wow.
Anything you can do, I can do as well.
This is an exciting game pitch, I'm telling you. Both these teams are going at it. Their records don't indicate the way they're playing right now, I'll tell you that.
Well, that's kind of the theme here because both teams think they're better than their record. Whether they're right or not, we're not sure yet.
But you know what? Confidence going towards March Madness is the most important thing. Because as long as you have a conference tournament, you have a chance.
Watkins with the rebound off the Shaw miss. Marks got hung up and throws it away. That's a rare mistake by a veteran guard, the junior Derek Marks. Terrific look from Medlin from Butterfield.
Utah State needs a couple things to bounce their way. Very advantageous there. Mental breakdown by Marks.
Drimick, finger roll. Anthony Drimick has done it from distance. And now he gets to the rim.
He can do it inside, outside. He drives it. You said before about being a European type player. He's a really, really good player is what he is.
He's a hard guard too at 6'6". Medlin. Rolling in tight, too tight.
And then the shot clock, look for a ball screen. Medlin's great shooting off ball screens.
Drimick a little too strong, and he gets a hand up from Medlin.
Miscommunication. Watkins going off the ball screen. Got to stay with him. Again, a miscommunication. Hey, 2 plays going back to back, just miscommunications, and both teams make you pay.
Quick start for both teams. It was 33 apiece to start the half. Medlin around Duncan, running, hook goes in.
Really like that action. Both teams like to run those handoffs. It starts off as a drive for Kyle Davis. If he has an angle, if he doesn't, it's a handoff to a great shooter. But notice how Utah State's doing a really good job of keeping that lane cluttered. even though Dremick gets in there, it's a tough shot, but obviously he makes it pay with one of his crazy shots.
The funny thing about points in the paint, most of the points in the paint in this ball game have come from the guards. Dremick gets 2 more there.
To truck guys, the truck is everything. And when you put them in charge of making an unbeatable
Our Saturday overdrive finds us in the Mountain West. Boise State, Utah State, 40 apiece. And it's time now for the Ally Bank assist of the game. Chris Walker, take it away.
Utah State doing what they do best, aided by poor transition defense by Boise State. Watkins doesn't see his man, lay him right behind the strict there. They got to get back, but if they don't, you know that Utah State's going to drop some dimes.
Spencer Butterfield finding Preston Medlin. Butterfield has been terrific in this ball game. Medlin has 12 points. And Utah State with the ball off the timeout. These two teams played a nail-biter in Boise last month. A 9-point Boise State lead early in the first half. It's tipped, and it's Boise State's ball.
Tried to run that same action, a little rub screen by the point guard. That's that a la Wes Welker they do in the NFL. He sprints off of him instead of coming for the handoff like they've been doing. Try to get a backdoor. Unfortunately, turned it over.
It's not Bill Belichick's favorite play, is it?
He wasn't too happy about that. I think he was wrong, but he wasn't too happy.
3.5 in, second half.
Utah State going to that little jump defense. Again, it looks like it's zone. Could be a little man. Look for Boise State to throw it into the interior, fan it to shooters.
Marks rotates. Dremick. They have released that one a little too quickly. Here comes Utah State. Medlin on the break. Shaw was held. Dremick had his arm wrapped around him. Second personal. Second team foul.
See what Utah State, they do a great job on their out of bounds plays. And see what they run here. Look for somebody, a shooter coming off to the corner.
Medlin curling. Watkins had it taken. Davis for 2. Not many people take a rebound away from Ryan Watkins.
You're right about that, but Kyle Davis is playing like a man possessed today, driving the ball. Now he's rebounding it. Great.
In Logan, Utah, Utah State has a 2-point lead. There really isn't an easy way for Boise State to get to Logan. It's about a 4-hour bus ride, but with the snow, a foot of snow fell in the last 24 hours, about a 5-hour bus ride. And when they arrived, Boise State, knowing that they have never won a basketball game in this arena. That's amazing, 0-17.
Mentally, I'm sure for the young guys, well, I'll say it like this here, the young guys don't know what they don't know. And then the older guys have seen it a couple years ago, but even looking at it, I was watching, when we were talking about it earlier, I was like, wow, that's unbelievable, 0-17. That's something that you hear when people go to Cameron Indoor.
Yeah, because they were opponents, you're right, in the old WAC. That's where Utah State was last year. That's where Boise State was 4 years ago. So it's the two seniors, Watkins and Eloriaga, that had to tell their teammates what Logan is all about, what this arena is all about.
And I'll tell you, it's starting to kick up. The herd's starting to get into it. A lot of action.
Thompson flashes. Watkins rebounds and a foul and a free throw, avenging that lost rebound. Ryan Watkins.
Talked about it earlier. When they were running zone, they're going to look to get the ball in the crease in the interior. And him missing that shot is like making a pass because someone has to come to him, which leaves Watkins with no one to box him out.
5 offensive rebounds in this game. He's the best offensive rebounder in the Mountain West. He's one of the best rebounders, period, in the country. Been in the top 10 for the last 3 weeks.
You know what's funny? You look at him, he doesn't have the body of a great athlete, but you know he has a nose for the ball. And any great rebounder, every coach will tell you that rebound's an attitude.
Duncan getting posted up. Davis, that's an area that Utah State has exploited. Boise State has just the one big in Watkins. They did bring Ness off the bench, but Duncan is more of a perimeter guy. And I think for Leon Rice and the recruiting class next year, he's going to add some size and some help for Watkins.
No question about it. They'll address it. But I'll tell you, Duncan's a tough customer. You know, he plays tough inside. And he really, the value that Duncan has to the game is the pick and pop jump shot. And we haven't seen that. So now he goes out of the game with a foul. But let's give credit to Cal Davis. He's a tough customer inside.
Duncan leaves the ball game with 2 personals. 4th team foul. Utah State has committed just 3 fouls the entire game.
He's doing a great job of moving their feet, keeping the guys in front of them. Now, they're getting to the rim at times, you know, but they haven't made shots, but they're not fouling them, putting them on the line.
Dremick, and he's short on the 3. Davis, quick outlet. Butterfield. And it's rolling now. And Logan. Watkins bodying and a hook. Ryan Watkins answers. He's closing in on a double-double.
Now, what do you do if you're a defender with the new rules? The guy just backs you down like Shaq used to do. You can't put your hands on him. He gets 2 feet from the basket. A good college player can make that shot all day long.
Just make sure you get you some down at the other end.
Exactly. Utah State's running those baseline screens, throwing inside. Guards are going to keep cutting. Shaw's going right at him, too.
Watkins gets called for the foul.
See, Dremick takes a shot. Look at the baseline. Look at the baseline. Thompson's not back. They got to sprint back. Mark's got to sprint back and shoot the ball.
Anthony Dremick. And those 2 guys are exhausted because Dremick has been guarding Butterfield. Butterfield has been guarding Dremick. Dremick has gone for 15. Butterfield has gone for 11. Now it's Duncan against Shaw. And Shaw, sensing he's got the advantage, backs in and finishes. That was pretty easy.
It was. You know, that's one of the things that I have a problem with the rules, I have to say this, is that they just back you down, back you down. There's nothing you really can do with a skilled, strong player, and they just lay it up, you know? Can't take a charge. It's just a tough play to defend.
Thompson, this is bro play. Boise State made those shots in the first half. They're not making them right now. Shaw really calling for the ball. He's got Duncan again. Duncan needs help. He got it that time.
That was a good play by Duncan. He's going to back him down with no help. He let him off the hook.
That's the shot if you're Boise State you want him to take.
Absolutely right. He's Shaw here backing him down. I just always call it the Shaq move. He's got him all the way down the restricted area. Any good college player can make that jump hook. And he's going over his left shoulder every time. If you watch any film, they know what shoulder he's going over. He's just so long and so athletic.
4-point Utah State lead. It's their biggest in the ballgame. 13.5 minutes left.
See what Boise State does here. They've been running the dribble weave and trying to get a ball screen. They don't have a post-up guy in the game. But let's see if they try to get to the rim again and create something for their shooters.
Duncan fumbled it, got it to Dremick. The shot clock has melted to 8. Bro play in the corner. Thompson, 3. It's a Utah State ball. And the Aggies right now have the momentum and the lead.
Sure, Coach Rice is frustrated, not getting that same type of movement. The ball is moved from one side of the floor to the other, which is not making the Utah defense shift, and they're trying to score it into the teeth of the defense.
Ryan Watkins on the bench with 3 fouls right now. That's why Duncan is all alone by himself in the post. Butterfield, good ball fake. Nice recovery, though, by Drimmett to alter the shot.
A great defensive play. But if I'm Utah State, with that advantage with Stone and Davis, I'm going inside high-low action, even screen roll replace like they do all the time, and try to take advantage while Watkins is out of the game.
Thompson crossover. And he's fouled. Butterfield got him. And Thompson gets to the line. He's a good free throw shooter.
Which is really their best offense at this point. It just has to happen when the ball is moved from one side of the floor to the other. It was a good move by Thompson, but he's not going to be able to get to the rim like that every single possession down the floor. They've got to move the ball around the horn.
In this season, in which the rules are reinforced now, freedom of movement, lots of fouls, lots of free throws, these two teams have combined for a whopping total of 6 free throws so far.
It's an unbelievable stat. They're both playing great defense. Been a lot, usually these teams shoot a lot of threes, but again, they're driving the ball. Both of them are driving with handoffs, and they're throwing the ball inside.
Butterfield and Stone come out of, or rather Davis come out of the ball game. Thompson, the crowd trying to draw his attention. He missed the free throw. Utah State by 3. Jalen Moore is in along with Berger and Stone off the bench for Utah State. Stu Moore is up and pacing. Berger around the screen. Got it! Danny Berger. Biggest lead for Utah State.
When you're coaching, it's always nice when a guy who doesn't play that much comes into the game to contribute. That's always a positive thing.
Trent, tough shot. And he'll get free throws when we return. 51-46, the Aggies have pulled out on top in Logan. Utah State's biggest lead of the ballgame, 51-46. 11.5 left on a Saturday overdrive. Chris Walker, did you know that Bushwhacker took out champ JB Money? And the baddest bull on the planet looks to keep his streak going. The final ride continues tomorrow. The 15-15 bucking battle from Anaheim at noon on CBS. Shameless transition to the Broncos tournament profile. Now, this is a team whose RPI is actually better than you would expect. It sits around 60.
That's why that San Diego State loss was a huge loss. It was a top 5 team who've been great for their RPI, and the other loss that killed them was the UNLV loss. They'd be 7-3 right now, and we'd be having a different conversation, and the gravity of this game would be even higher. But they're in a tough spot right now, and the point where, which obviously they may have to win the conference tournament.
Desmond Trent misses a free throw. Boise State didn't help themselves against San Diego State and missed a few key free throws in that second half. Trent, it's 1 of 2. So the lead is 4. The full court pressure. Still in the ball game, Joe Hanstad, who hasn't played a whole lot for Boise State. But Hanstad, in this ball game, has played 8 minutes. Duncan is the big. If you've just joined us, Ryan Watkins is on the bench with 3 personal fouls.
Got a mismatch. They switch the ball screen. Let's see if he tries to go at Duncan.
Medlin over Duncan. Big shot. Medlin, 15 points.
That was just great recognition. He saw it, caught the screen down. He switched. He told Stone to go back down. I'm going to take him one-on-one. See, right now, you see what's going on. Utah State's coming back in their zone. They changed defenses. Boise State looks a little stymied now. They're getting back into it. Driving to the rim is always the best thing. We're going to the post. Trent shot by Trent.
Misses. Stone with the rebound. Davis spun around. Medlin almost shot it again. Moore, baseline drive. Oh, the finger roll. Dr. J-Life. lead for Utah State. The hair and the flair of Jalen Moore. Here's a look at first Preston Medlin.
Because Medlin calling him off, saying, I got this. Duncan's at a disadvantage. Great recognition by Medlin, obviously making a shot. That's what he does. And here's Moore here on the drive. I mean, Trent should just take a charge there, but look how he elevated outside of the lane there, Rich. A la fish saved Pittsburgh. What do you think?
The fish that saved Pittsburgh. Terrific movement. 10-10 left in this one. Utah State 56-47. There's Moore. Important minutes off of Stu Morrill's bench. Stu Morrill has been here for 16 years. He's lost only 25 games in this building. There's your run, 9-2 for Utah State. Back in the game is Drimmick. Hadziemirovic is in, and Watkins is in with 3 personals.
You know what? I think what Coach Rice says, you know what? It's time for me to get my studs in there. It's time to get him in there. We don't want this game to get away.
Drimmick with a 3. And that quieted everybody down. And the stud was back in the game. Drimmick's got 18. Medlin a rolling run. $17 for Medlin.
That action just wears you down, running off those screens all game long. Medlin has been close all game long, and they get tired. When they get tired, you get punished.
Great play by Moore. He saves it. Drimmick. Good hustle on both sides. Drimmick, a 3. Oh, a big shot by Drimmick after a hustle play. And Boise State won't go away.
Everybody's watching the 3, but the catch, the throw behind the back, the presence behind, the throw it behind the back, get it and get it back. What a great player. Look at the catch, throw it behind the back, gives it up, sprints to the corner, which is the sweet spot for him. Great contest, too late though.
8 of 13 is Drimmick, 5 of 9 from beyond the arc, 21 points, and he's keeping Boise State in this ballgame.
He is. Look for a triple screen right here. Get to the rim. I like to see him go back to that ball screen for Medlin. He feels like he's got it going right now.
Remember, Watkins has 3 fouls, and now he's guarding Shaw. Good offside rebound by Brooklyn.
That's great defense by Watkins, too. Not the foul, rule of verticality.
Oh, Watkins with a catch, couldn't finish. Ball's loose. Drimmick picked up by Danny Berger. Here comes Utah State with numbers. Moore on a give and go. Baseline, Berger into deep, and he's fouled. Watkins and Bro play, and it's Watkins' foul. It's his 4th, and he can't believe it.
That's a senior. At this point, they need him in the game. You know, you're driving. There was a degree of difficulty in the shot. Him making that shot was slim and none. Just let him go. Forget the block. Now you stay in the game. Now he's got to sit.
Boise State is not the same team, especially against Utah State and Jared Shaw with Watkins on the bench. And that's where he's headed. 8 minutes left. He's got 4 personals.
Otherwise, it's not
I'm sure Coach Morrow is going to take advantage of it and go inside. But the flip side of that is they're playing small, and if they, on offense, if they could get a chance to get some threes by picking and popping and get their guys that make threes loose, it could be advantageous for them.
And that's Duncan. And Duncan, who usually is good at picking and popping, has taken just 2 shots, and he hasn't made 1.
He hasn't.
In Logan, Utah State, a 6-point lead over Boise State. A Saturday overdrive in the Mountain West Conference. Former Texas Tech coach Chris Walker, Rich Waltz with you. Right now, Utah State is on a roll with the lead and the ball. They took down Nevada here last time out. And right now, the Aggies continue their run. Jared Shaw stretches the lead to 8.
It's just great execution and recognition by Preston Medlin, knowing that Duncan can't keep up on the pick and roll.
Timeout on the floor. Utah State going to their big. Jared Shaw, the senior. A 7-1 run right now by Utah State and a 61-53 lead over Boise State. Saturday Overdrive continues. A-10 matchup. VCU is knocking on the door of the top 25. They're on the road and taking on St. Joe's. Up next, CBS Sports Network on the road to the Final Four. Will there be a Cinderella in the Final Four this year? Wichita State still hasn't tasted defeat. VCU coming up. Butler went down to Georgetown in Washington, D.C. today.
Tough to win on the road in the Big East. I'll tell you this, two terms we may have to stop using. A, for those 3 teams you just mentioned, Cinderella, and the other one is mid-major, because those teams are anything but mid-major.
How does Boise State climb back in here without Watkins?
Well, that's one way, throwing the ball to Drimmick and just letting him go to work and sharing the ball and moving it from side to side and try to drive. More importantly, getting stops on this end to create some fast break points.
It was Butterfield who scored big in the first half. Preston Medlin in the second. And Shaw going to work without Watkins to follow him. A dozen for Shaw. Biggest lead of the ball game. It is stretched to 10.
See, Boise's having to put Drimmick at the 4 spot. They got to play small, and hopefully they can take advantage of it. But all Utah State is going to switch every screen.
Is it a block? Yes. Count the bucket. This is Marks off the Hadziemirovic screen.
I don't know, Rich, that looked questionable. It looked like he might have been there. He moved just a tad bit. Marks, how about Marks with the English of moving and still finishing? It's a talent, I tell you. Finishing is a talent.
14 for Marks. Boise State could use a dose of Marks down the stretch. Remember, he made the 2 big plays in the win a month ago when the 2 teams met in Boise. Made the block shot and then the game-winning shot in the last 30 seconds.
You know, Rich, he's been relatively quiet this half, but Preston Medlin has not.
Oh, man, Medlin just can't be stopped. He's at 19 points now. Six minutes left. The lead is 9.
If I'm Boise State, move the ball from side to side and drive the ball to the rim. That's the best thing you can do right now. Or maybe get a pick and pop off Shaw, but they're going to switch everything.
There's the switch. Shaw with the foul.
Here's coming off that handoff. Spin move, just very crafty player and finish. He's playing great this half.
Right now, Utah State's offense looks more like Boise State's offense than Boise does.
Those handoffs are effective. I always say those handoffs are sort of like ball screens. You got to figure out if you're going to hard hedge them or you're going to soft trap them, but you got to figure it out. But when they move you around so much, it's hard to figure. And when they're subbing so much, guys are in different positions. All of a sudden, that scouting you do during the practice before or even shoot around doesn't matter anymore.
Both teams have 17 fouls, 1 and 1 for Drimmick. Both teams are real good free throw shooting teams, right around 75%. Marks, the hustle play, almost picked it loose.
Even though Marks has been relatively quiet scoring, he has been very consistent with his intensity. Probably need him to pick it up a little bit more on the offensive end if he's going to give his team a chance to win this game.
He's waiting for the feeling to come back in that arm. It looked like he banged his elbow.
Was it the right or the left? I didn't see it.
It was the right. He's still hanging that right arm. Still a lot of time in this game. 5:47 left.
So we kept talking about how the game in Boise, Utah State was up. So you look at this game, you see the same type of feeling. It's never over. It's college basketball. As long as that three-point line is out there, there's always a chance you can win that game.
Shaw, 18-footer, missed it. He has not hit an outside shot. He's done all his damage from the low post. Drimmick. Shaw challenges him. Drimmick got the foul and creatively gets his way to the free throw line.
This is a smart play. Going back to the play before that, I mean, I don't think that's the play that they want. Medlin is hot. Let him take it. Let him go. Obviously, they soft trapped him. Then on the other end, transition defense going right at him. Drimmick's just going to be hard to stop. Shaw's at his mercy at that point.
1-1. Excuse me, it's 2. He was fouled while shooting. If you've just joined us, Ryan Watkins was averaging a double-double, was on the bench, and he's been on the bench since the 8-minute mark with 4 personal fouls. Boise plays small to begin with, but without Watkins, they're minute. Not minutes, but
they're definitely small. I think it warrants changing some defense a little bit. They're running them off those screens just to slow things up and just give Utah State a different look.
There's a different look here. Some full court pressure. 6-point Utah State lead. Marcel Davis. The trap comes. Butterfield. And they'll settle in and run the play. A little glance over. You see the play cards there on the Utah bench right next to Stu Morrill. Medlin missed a floater. He's hit all of those in the second half. Boise State gets a stop. Let's see if they can convert.
Same action, handoff, looking to create an advantage. Maybe there's a switch or drive to the rim.
Thompson, and Thompson off the stop gets a bucket. The lead is 4. First, Utah State has to break this press.
Again, just switching defense, just disrupt their rhythm a little bit.
Once they break the press, then they look for the play cards, and you can see the cards right there on the Utah State bench. Davis takes a peek. 2 sets of cards. One is a dummy, the other is the play.
Marv let out. He gets those guys that figured all that out. We talked to him today. He says, you know what? It's just repetition.
Butterfield, big bucket. Spencer Butterfield. And that stops the Boise run. The lead is 6. Just under 4 minutes left in this ball game in Logan, Utah.
I like Butterfield. He's one of the best 2-point shooters I've seen this year. Really good at stopping on the dime. It's a lost art, gathering himself. Really good shooter. Here he is again. Maybe a little push off there. But once he rises up, it's almost money.
Spencer Butterfield had a terrific first half, and he's heating up now. He's hit 2 buckets in the second half. Utah State holding their lead at 6.
Good game. Going to be a good game to the finish. I don't get the sense that Boise State's in panic mode right now, but they're going to have to make some adjustments with Watkins being out of the game. And again, it comes down to what Utah State decides to do on offense. If I'm them, I'm going to Butterfield. I'm going to Medlin every time.
And again, it comes down to close games. Boise State and Utah State played one in January. Boise State with Derek Marks, the hero at the end, won it. Now it's Utah State with a 6-point lead.
So they're just playing with the ball around the perimeter. The middle of that zone is wide open. They're basically going to be playing man-to-man. Just go find the mismatch and drive it at it.
There's the rotation. Marks drives. Marks finger roll with a finish. Wow, Derek Marks, that's a strong move from a 6'3" guard.
Like I said, it's the switching. The fact that Duncan is like a perimeter player, that forces Shaw to play defense on perimeter, and they just got to find the mismatch and go straight at it.
Double team, a reach, and a timeout. Stu Morrill didn't like what he saw. He'll burn the timeout. 67-63. A determined young man is Derek Marks.
Absolutely. That's the second time we've seen him avoid the charge. Utah State comes over to try to take the charge. Body English, he moves around, dipsy doodle, and he's finishing. I always tell young guys, finishing is a talent.
I asked you at the outset of the telecast, how does Boise State avoid looking at these games and worrying about it in a game like this? Their last two games, double-digit leads. They lost both those games.
You know what? They got a lot of experience. They played the NCAA tournament last year. They just got to finish it. That's all you can do. We can talk all day long about X, Y, and Z. At the end of the day, you just got to get it done. They got to make the plays that get it done. This is a great situation to see if they can come out with a win here.
When do you bring Ryan Watkins back off the bench if you're Leon Rice? He's got 4 fouls.
I mean, I maybe wait another minute just to see what happens, but maybe they play better without him. You never know. Shaw being in the game, guard Duncan may actually be to Boise's advantage at some point if he can somehow get a 3 off.
Even though there's been 2 timeouts under 4 minutes, the under 4-minute timeout comes next dead ball. So maybe that's the opportunity to get Watkins in. 3:13 left here. Butterfield. This is Davis, closely guarded by Marks. Drimick and Butterfield have battled all day long. Shaw against Duncan, spinning, stepping, yes! Jared Shaw coming off a double-double against Nevada. 14 and 8 in this one. Things are looking up in Logan, Utah. The Aggies had lost 5 of their last 6 coming into this one, but they've got a 6-point lead over Boise State. Guard play has been terrific. Start with Anthony Drimick of Boise State.
He has done a great job of doing what he does best, scoring different ways, shooting the passing lane, really giving his team a chance to win this game. And Medlin's just been outstanding. He's really picked up his output the second half, and he's really been good. And he's been the reason why they had this lead.
Medlin with 19, Drimick with 24, and from the field, Drimick 8 of 13, Medlin 8 of 12. So sharpshooters both. Problems for Leon Rice now. Remember, Boise State has had trouble holding a lead. Now they have to come from behind. Ryan Watkins with 4 personal fouls has been on the bench since the 8-minute mark.
You know, one of the biggest things that's been plaguing them is that exact play. Utah State has 42 points in the paint. They're shooting almost 60% from the field. I mean, it is hard to win. And guess what? We're on the road in one of the toughest places to play in the country. If Boise State pulls this off, it would be unbelievable.
Jared Shaw to the line. Remember, he was suspended right before Mountain West played. Missed 5 games, and he misses that free throw. So the lead is 6. Boise doesn't have a lot of time to waste. Pro play out there with Duncan, Drimick, Thompson, and Marks. Duncan did not have his feet set. He had an open look.
So it looks like they're playing zone, but they're playing man-to-man. They're just giving you a straight look. They're playing man. Again, he takes it off the drive.
Wow! An enormous jump stop and then a soft, feathery hook.
Here he is. All they're doing is they're moving the ball around and finding the mismatch, and Marks is attacking.
Remember 2 minutes ago when Marks gathered his team and got into him, and he is leading the way right now. Watkins is back in, and Marks with a marvelous 3-point play cuts the lead in half with 2.5 minutes left. Marks fouls. Zaneo Rollins. Marks on the hold.
That's just not a smart play.
First personal on Marks.
Yeah, it's just not a smart play. Rich putting him on the line. Had him going, 3-point play, make them score against your defense. Got Watkins in the game. Now you put him on the line.
Unless he misses the front end of the 1-and-1.
And unless he misses the front end, but again, Boise State needs to box out and make sure they get the rebound.
That's not easy for a small team. Hits the first. 19 fouls for both teams. Stu Morrill and Leon Rice matched up a month ago. They went down to the wire, and this one looks like it's headed in the same direction.
Remaining 35 seconds in eternity in college basketball.
Made one of two. It's a 4-point game. 6 ties, only a couple lead changes. Boise has had to play from behind almost the entire second half, while Utah State played from behind in the first half. Drimmick spinning. Oh, went down. I think he slipped. Here's a look. Wow, you saw that foot just go right off the floor.
Tough play, tough play.
Not a lot of turnovers in this ball game. Utah State burns a timeout. In the Mountain West Conference, both of these teams were projected to be near the top. Boise State was projected to finish second, and everybody thought Utah State would be at the 5 spot. Well, look, Utah State's 3-7, Boise State's 5-5. Both teams feel they are better than their records. I guess the question is, are they?
I would agree that they are, just looking at all their games, and they've been in and out of games, and it's just, they've been snake bitten, you know, and that happens sometimes. You know, we talked to Coach Morrow at the shoot-around, and he talked about the difference in playing in the WAC and playing in the Mountain West, and how people think that his teams aren't as good. He said it's about transition, not just with the league, but also with his team.
Yeah, he felt that had he been able to take some of his stronger WAC teams into the Mountain West this year, he'd been able to fare much better. This is a transition year as far as his roster goes as well. Utah State with the ball in the lead.
Boise State don't need to foul here. There's plenty of time on the clock. Just get a stop. But if I'm Utah State, I'm putting it in Medlin's hands, and I'm going right at Butterfield.
It stays with Utah State. Shot clock at 13. That's Medlin. He's had a terrific ball game. 19 points. Butterfield with 13. Davis with 13. Jared Shaw, the center, has got 14. This is Shaw against Watkins, who's got 4 fouls. Shot clock at 5. Rowland takes a look. Shaw, got to get it up. He does, and missed it. Bro play rebound. It's a travel. He ran into Watkins. What a break for Utah State.
It's definitely a break, but you know what? When I was a player, we always called that great hustle. You got to take that. Guys are going for the ball. They're playing hard. It's just bad luck. Get back on the next possession, and let's get it back again.
Boise State had their stop, and they had their rebound. But it's a fresh shot clock for Utah State. Minute 38 left. The Aggies see if they can run clock. Marks goes for the steal. Got a hand on it. Medlin dribbles out.
Like the energy, going after the ball without fouling. Now, clock is your ally. Shot clock's your ally. Don't foul. Just play solid defense.
Shaw against Watkins. Shaw, missed it. Watkins the rebound. Boise has the stop, and this time they have the rebound. Marks spinning. Marks off the glass. Won't go. Davis the rebound. He's fouled. As difficult as that shot was, you expected Marks to make it because he's made so many tough ones.
You're absolutely right. He's made those all game long. He's going right at Butterfield. Just going away from the basket. Great contest by Butterfield without fouling, by the way. Here he is again. Great contest without fouling. That was really good defense.
One thing Leon Rice talked to us about before the ball game is that at the end of the ball game, Derek Marks at times has tried to do a little too much.
You know, he did say that, but I think at that time it was warranted because he's been great the whole game. He's been the reason they've been in and out of this game, to be honest with you.
And watching that replay, none of his teammates had made themselves available or were getting open.
And he wants it. He's the kind of player that wants it. And I know Coach Rice says maybe he tries to do it too much at the end of the game. But again, that's the play he's been making all game that's kept him in the game.
That one rattles in. minute left. Drimmick, long three. Missed it. Shaw with the rebound. And Utah State with the ball and the lead.
Got a foul. Foul.
Duncan fouls. Shaw to the line. Shoots 2.
Thought they let some time go off the clock. As soon as Shaw got it, I went right for him right away and got him. Can't let Medlin get the ball or Butterfield.
Drimmick's 3.
You know, Richie's got that quick release, but I'll tell you this. If I was a betting man, I'd say he's exhausted because he's been chasing Butterfield and Medlin the entire game off those baseline screens. I thought it'd be important. It's hard to play both ends of the floor at an optimum level.
Our Heineken play of the game. This was a big bucket for Jared Shaw in Utah State.
You're absolutely right. He's going to take him down. He's trying to take away that left shoulder, which is where he likes to go. He spins back the other way and lays it in again. Scouting report says he goes to his left shoulder, spin the other way, steps through, and 1.
And 2 free throws. 1 goes down.
You talk about how Boise State has had those 2 tough losses their last time out. And you just wonder if the confidence level of just taking a win out of their sails coming here and playing against a team they've lost to 17 times in this building.
Drimmick off the handoff, gets to the rim and scores. And a timeout, a quick one from Boise State. 5-point game, 30 seconds left.
But obviously here, you got to get a quick trap. There's no reason to foul right away. Do the best you can of stopping it from getting the ball inbounds, get a quick trap, try to get a steal. Then after that, you're going to have to foul for sure. But you got to make sure you don't want to foul Medlin or Butterfield.
I told you Utah State's a very good free throw shooting team at 74%. Kyle Davis and Taneo Rowland are the weakest links. Both of those guys at 65%. Butterfield's at 82. Shaw's at 84. Medlin's 75. We'll get you out to Tom McCarthy and Ala Abdelnabi, Molly Sullivan. They're all waiting in Philly. Tom's very comfortable in Philly. The voice of the Phillies getting ready for St. Joe's and VCU.
It's funny we talk about who to foul. Shaw's the best free throw shooter on the team. You don't even want to foul him. That's very uncommon that your big guy's your best foul shooter percentage-wise.
No, Rowland is one of the guys you want to send there. He's a 65%er. He races to the line right away.
Good play. You got to play the percentages. He goes to the line. I've seen game after game where it's in a crucial situation. We're talking about situations right now where guys have gone 1 for 2, and it's been a big difference in the game. 1 for 2 is much different than 2 for 2.
2 free throws coming to nail Rowland. Utah State lost 5 in a row, many of them close, before they beat Nevada on Wednesday.
One more.
And Nevada walked in here at 7-2 in the Mountain West. But the Deontay Burton show, a high-flying guard for the Wolfpack.
No matter what Utah State's record is, the bottom line is when they play here, they're very tough. When their crowd is into it, they have a very good chance of winning any game.
Makes 1 of 2. Marks up the floor. Behind him is Brokley, a 3. Short. Shaw the rebound. He's fouled. 20 seconds left. Shaw, as you pointed out, 84% from the free throw line.
I was saying before about at the end of the game, like there's some guys go 1 for 2 from the line. As Brokley made that 3 to be a 3-point game, it would get interesting. That's why free throw shooting is so key down the stretch. I see so many young players, as soon as they walk in the gym, first thing they want to do is get behind a 3-point line. If you want to be valuable, go to that foul line in an environment like this and make foul shots.
Brian Watkins fouls out with 5 personals. I think one of the things you see here The middle of the Mountain West Conference is very good. I mean, if Utah State is a 3-7 team in this conference, that's very un-Stu Morrill-like. And as Morrill told us, the calendar turned into the second half of the season, and he said, let's see if the close games that fell the other way will fall our way.
And as a coach is experiencing him almost winning 600 games, he knows it's all about attitude. Like he said, you can't cry over spilt milk. You have to move forward and proceed. He's a veteran. He's been doing it forever. And he knows that, hey, the guys on the floor playing this game, you got to keep their heads right. And as we said earlier, they're playing for March. And March for them right now is the Mountain West tournament. They just got to be solid going into the tournament.
And on this floor in 16 years, Morrill has lost very few games. 2 points, Marks on the layup. Just 25 losses in 16 years here. And Utah State turns it over, 12 seconds left.
What I love about college basketball, it's never over. It's never over until that's all zeros on that clock.
Here's the play, Medlin inbounding. He was trying to get it to Rowland. And so Boise State needs to find a way to loosen themselves up for a 3 and get a foul and a timeout. The gentleman standing right behind Leon Rice with the blue dress shirt and the dark suit, if he had any eligibility left, he is one of the great three-point shooters distance-wise in NCAA history. That's John Riley at Gonzaga. There's Riley right there. Riley was part of Gonzaga's first NCAA team. Dan Fitzgerald was the coach. They were just starting to build, but really an Australian import. I mean, he had ridiculous distance. He had a really nice playing career in Australia. Leon Rice was an assistant at Gonzaga, and he was one of the first guys that Rice called when he got the job at Boise State.
Rich, I know him very well. I was an assistant coach at Loyola Marymount with John Olive back then. And that's when that whole Gonzaga thing started. It started with him draining those threes. So he was one of the pioneers in what we see in Gonzaga today.
We will get you out to St. Joe's and VCU in a moment. 76-70, Utah State on top. Boise State is down 6 with 12 seconds left. They have the ball on the baseline.
Obviously, there's got to get a 3. Look for Bro Play to get the shot. Look for them using Drimmick as a decoy.
The steal by Butterfield, and that'll do it. Butterfield holds it. Utah State has their win.
And that's the final.
76-70, the final. Aggies win it. For Chris Walker, I'm Rich Waltz. Utah State beats Boise State. Let's head to Philly. VCU and St. Joe's. Take it away, Tom McCarthy.